Good morning. We're here today with Chris Cates of Olshan Foundation Repair Company of Houston to talk about home elevation in the Houston area. Over the last 2 months since Hurricane Harvey, you guys have fielded a lot of questions about home elevation projects, trying to help Houston area homeowners recover, get the answers they need in order to continue that recovery. So we wanted to ask you just a couple of questions today, Chris, but before we get started, can you tell me how many years you've been in the foundation industry and a little bit about your background?
Sure. Actually, January of next year, I've been in the industry for 29 years. And as far as home elevation goes, I think the first home that I was involved in elevating was over 20 years ago, and it was an 8-foot lift.
Okay, wow. So tell us, one of the questions I get most often is, what types of homes can be elevated? People want to know if their type of house can be elevated. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think any type of home can be elevated as long as it has sound construction to it. Slab homes, pier and beam, or block and base homes.
Okay, and even some people will have questions about whether you can do a post-tension slab versus a standard concrete and rebar.
It certainly, as long as it's built to standard construction specs, we can raise a home.
Okay, and what about commercial buildings?
Absolutely, commercial buildings can be raised as well.
Okay, and is, in general, one of the things you hear is everybody wants things to be safe for both the people working on it and the homeowner for their property. Is home elevation safe?
Yes, if done with a qualified contractor that understands the process totally, home elevations are very safe.
And tell me, if a homeowner is considering home elevation, Chris, what are the important factors they should consider when they're talking to home elevation contractors?
Well, the first thing, if anybody's going to raise your home, they need to understand the entire process. And that process starts with paperwork. It really starts with an elevation certificate, and our base flood elevation certificate, actually. And that will determine, if you're in a governing municipality, exactly how high you need to raise the home, which in most places is a foot above base flood elevation. So you need someone that understands the permitting process, that understands the area that they're working in, that they're not new to that soil condition, they're not new to what it takes to put in a good support system in those soils. They need to certainly be fully insured, and they need to really understand the entire process.
What about reputation and time in business in an area? We've seen a lot of contractors come in from out of town. I know Olshan's been in business since 1933. How important is that in this kind of project?
Well, the last thing you want to do is give a deposit to someone that doesn't fulfill what they need to do as far as your project goes. Check and make sure they're financially sound. Check and make sure that they have a good rapport with the BBB, and do the due diligence as you would with any contractor. You talked about permitting, and I know there's permitting and engineering involved. Tell me about how Olshan helps facilitate that process for the customer. So if we're doing a home elevation or any foundation repair job, we take care of the permitting process. That process on a home elevation will require an engineer spec drawings, paperwork with the city, and depending on the governing municipality and what their requirements are, we work through that process for the homeowner. Sometimes that can be a little tedious. It can take us several weeks to get that done, but that's something we do for the homeowner.
Now, you talked about several weeks for permitting. How long does a total home elevation project take on average?
From start to finish, a home elevation project will take anywhere from 60 to 90 days if it's a lift that is what we refer to as an elevated lift, something that comes out of the ground.
Okay, so we haven't talked about that yet. Talk to me about the 3 different types of lifts when it comes to home elevation.
Yes. As I said before, the lift requirements may be governed by your base flood elevation. So let's say if you are setting a foot below base flood elevation, and so that means your home needs to be raised a foot above base flood elevation, so you have to raise your home 2 feet. And you have a grade beam that has 26 inches of grade beam, and it's sitting pretty close at grade. We're able to raise that home without coming out of the ground. We refer to that as an in-ground lift. In-ground lifts are much less expensive than elevated lifts because you don't have what we refer to as the build back around the exterior of the home after the home's elevated. The second type of elevation you have is when it comes out of the ground, and that's going to be anywhere from the point of it clearing the ground up to 5 feet. And those particular lifts will require a build back around the exterior, and the third type of lift is what we refer to as a high lift, and that would be anything over 5 feet. And that requires, we can do build back around those, which totally encompasses, or we can set it on concrete grouted columns that are tied into the foundation, and so it appears, it'll have the look like an elevated home out on Galveston Island that's set up on piers.
Okay, and so, and all of those, from beginning to end, the engineering is incorporated in your design before the process ever starts?
Yes, before a shovel's ever stuck in the ground, we have to get a permit. That permitting process will require a design by an engineer and approval by the municipality that'll grant the permit.
Okay. And one of the things I've heard people question is about the safety of that when you really get into those elevated lifts. But the engineer's incorporating all those calculations into his design
Yes.
for future windstorm and that type of consideration.
Yes, and there are homes that are on the coast that require windstorm inspections. So anything that's required by the municipalities, Olshan will take care of getting that done.
Okay. And so, Chris, you've done a great job answering questions for us here today. If there is a homeowner out there or a property owner that's interested in learning more about home elevation projects and what a project at their property might look like, what should they do?
Certainly you can go to our website, or you can call our office and we can do a one-on-one consultation with you, come out to your home and look at your situation and really help you determine whether this is something that's feasible for you to do. And one of the first things, there's two things actually that could help us to start with, is an elevation certificate, and if you have a set of plans for your home, that's important to see how the home was constructed. But we can do a one-on-one consultation, or recently we've been doing seminars where we invite people in a group and explain the whole process of what it takes to do home elevations, and I think that's been very helpful for people, and it's given us some feedback what's going on in the community with people.
Thank you, Chris, for answering our questions today.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you.